everybody, it's Cathryn from In the Pink Designs. My project today is a floral box that measures 3 3/4 by 3 1/4 by 1 1/4. So it's got a lot of quarters in there, but it's nice and thick. Today, inside, doesn't really go with the theme, but I wanted to show you that these mini bear grams, the chocolate ones, these are from Aldi and I love them. And they come, I think, 14 packages in there for $3. So I love them. Some things at Aldi I really love. Some things I could take or leave, but I do love these because I love the Teddy Grams, the chocolate ones. And they're like $3 for a little package. So it's a good deal for snacks for kids and adults. Alright, so I'm using the Country Flowers stamp set. We're using the teapot and the roses, and I think those might be lavender. That's how I'm using them. The matching dies, and I'm using the Nested Essentials dies, the second largest of the rectangles. Okay. Alright, so I also made a card to match because the challenge for my team this month, my upline does a challenge every month because she's got a lot of people, and everybody decides the month before what kind of prize they would like. Sometimes it's a bundle, sometimes it's some type of paper or packaging or coloring. But if you were to join my team, you could participate in that challenge. And their challenge this month was to do a card with some type of flowers on it. So I did the box and I did a card to get in the challenge because I don't usually make cards now. I take all my time making the boxes. But I like this. It says, "So lucky to know you." So it's a good card for friend or family. All right. So we need a piece of Highland Heather. This one I used fresh Freesia. So I'm going to switch it up to Highland Heather this time. It is 10.5 by 6.5. Some basic white for stamping. Now these are all the Perennial Lavender DSP. This is from the Nested Essentials dies. It's approximately 2 5/8 by 1 7/8. Okay, we need 2 pieces of the same DSP, different pattern, that are 3.5 by 3, 2 that are 3.5 by 1, and 2 that are 3 by 1. Okay, please subscribe and hit the like button. That would help me out a lot. Okay, and I'm going to get my Simply Scored. We're going to start on the 10.5-inch side and score at 1/2, 4 1/4, 5 1/2, and 9 1/4. Turn it to the 6.5-inch side and score at 1 1/4, 4 1/2, and 5 3/4. All right, now you want to fold and burnish all your score lines. Okay, we're going to start with the 1/2-inch rectangle. Over here, there is a 3/4 inch strip on the top and a 1 1/4 inch on the bottom. And this is what we're going to be doing. Okay, I'm going to start over here. Go to the first score line, cut it to the first score line, and wedge up into that skinny rectangle. Go to the next 2 score lines and cut them to the first score line and wedge both sides of that square. And then go over here to the last score line, cut it to the first score line, and wedge both sides of the square. Okay, turn it so that your 2.5-inch rectangle is over here. And we're going to go to the first score line and cut it to the second score line. Take off the rectangle and wedge the square. Okay, go to the next 2 score lines and cut it to the first score line. Take off the rectangle and wedge both sides of the square. Okay, now we're going to cut off all 4 of these pieces and then wedge up into that skinny rectangle. Okay, then we need a corner rounder to round both sides of this top flap here. Okay, and that's what your cardstock should look like when you're done. Now we're going to put some tear-in tape on the what's left of the skinny rectangle next to the score line. Okay, and then I'm going to flip it over and put it together. Okay, this is our back, so you want to put that flap in first and then put them all together with liquid glue. And that's your box. Okay, now we need our DSP, and we're going to put these pieces on the front, oops, this way, on the front and back. And then the long sides for these and the short sides for the short ones. Alright, now we're going to let that dry a minute, and we're going to do some stamping. So you need our basic white and also our piece of our rectangle. Alright, so let's do the rectangle first, and this is all going to be with base Tuxedo Black. And I'm going to put this over to the left. Great. All right, and then we'll do the teapot and then the flowers. Okay, and then I'm going to cut these out. All right, now we need some Stampin Blends, not too many. I'm using 5. Light and dark fresh Freesia, dark Highland Heather, and light and dark Lost Lagoon. So let's do the teapot first. I'm going to use the dark first, and I'm going to do this line here on the bottom, kind of up the back of the handle and the front of the teapot, and then right in the little teapot spout. And then I'm going to do a little bit of the edges here. Okay. Then I'm going to take the lighter and just color the whole thing, and then we'll add a little more dark. Then I'm going to add a little bit more of the dark, and then I'm just going to put a little bit of light and flick that. Okay, it just looks kind of shaded. I'm not the best at it, but I did it. Okay, and then I'm going to do all the leaves with light and dark Lost Lagoon also. Then I'm going to use dark Highland Heather for all of these little flowers. Okay, and then I'm going to use light and dark fresh Freesia for the roses. I'm going to do the dark in the middle and then go with the light. Okay, then I'm going to get my silicone mat, and I'm going to put a little bit of glue on that top edge of the teapot. And I'm going to put my flowers down how I like them. Now let's let that dry a minute, and we're going to get some Lost Lagoon ribbon, and I am going to tie it around the box and tie a bow on the left side. All right, then I'm going to put dimensionals on a little bit of the back here. I'm going to put one there, and one there. It might hang over a little bit on the bottom there. And I'm going to nestle this in right below the W in no. And I'm just going to use that to measure where I want to put my teapot. Yeah, a little bit hung over, but that's okay. All right, now we're going to put more dimensionals on the back here. I'm going to put one over that piece that's sticking up because it's going to need a double there. All right. And I'm just going to stick this a little bit higher. Yeah, just like that. Okay, and for the final touch, I'm going to use the purple fine shimmer gems, and I'm going to be using I'm going to use a Highland Heather large one and put it on the teapot there. And then a large and a small. I think these are fresh. No, not fresh Freesia. Yeah, fresh Freesia over here. Okay, and that's it. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, my email is below, along with the links to my shop where you can purchase these, and to my blog that has all of the measurements and everything written out. Alrighty, please subscribe and hit the like button, and I will see you next time. Bye.